city out here in Western Colorado, a few hours away from Denver. But yeah, I'm excited to be a little bit closer to, some new scenery, some outdoor stuff. Um, Speaking of news, when I was coming here from Seattle over the weekend, Denver area got absolutely slammed with snow, shut off power for about 57,000. Thankfully, we just missed that. But yeah, it's been quite a process getting settled here. Understand you're also in transition and moving about.
Yes, this is a temporary home while my house is flooded,
Oh my gosh,
but
yeah,
making the best of it.
total
Me and my
bummer.
dog are making the best of it.
Have a nice background there. But guys, we were trying something totally new today, and we are going to be inviting people in from the audience. Let us know if you have a headline you want to talk about for 5 minutes or reaction to a headline, and just let us know by saying you want to come in, you have something that you want to talk about. We already had a couple people say they want to join us. So we will keep people to a strict 5 minute limit to try to get on as many people as we can, have a little bit of a carousel of musical chairs talking about news today, just kind of doing some new formats and all that. So I guess we had, yeah, Carrie says it's a cool concept. We hope so. We'd love to have you come up and join us, everyone. Just want to say hi, Daniel, Lindsay, Lady Paula, Doe Darling, Ken, Luke. Great to see you all today. Carrie, wonderful to see you. What headlines are you allowing us to tell about? So you are welcome to come up and tell us about a headline yourself that you are watching, and we will give you the stage for 5 minutes. Yep. So if that's something that interests you, we're happy to extend an invite. Douglas, what headlines are you paying attention to today? What do you have in mind?
Well, there are a few. I think I'll save a few for guests that come on, but something that just popped up for me that I'm excited about. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but is the fact that the IRS has extended the tax due date from April 15th to May 15th. That's a very interesting headline right now, and I'm curious to see what other people's responses might be to that and how that might benefit them. If there's anyone curious out there to talk about that, obviously, like a lot of people procrastinate, myself included, sometimes with my taxes. But beyond that, like what's the benefit? Is it more to do like I haven't really dived into the reasons why they're doing this. Perhaps is it to benefit the IRS because I know that they have cut a lot of people in the past couple of years, and also a lot of those people probably haven't been in the office for a long time, and they're probably slow to start up the process as well. Any thoughts out there?
Yeah, that's interesting. Definitely noteworthy. I actually did not know that until you told me that right in the pre-live here. Yeah, so the topic, Candy, great question, is a bit popcorn style today. We are trying to experiment with a new format here, and we'd invite you up, Candy, and anyone else to talk for 5 minutes about a headline that is interesting or relevant to you or local in your area that you like to share with the rest of the community, and give your take on it. This is kind of an interesting way to have a new sort of fresh take and perspectives. So if you're interested, Kenny, I just sent you an invite. We'd love to have you up here. Rob, would you like to be invited? Happy to invite you up here as well. There we go, sending some more invites. Not aware. Thank you for letting me know. Is that what the Fed and for the state?
I can't speak to the state, and this isn't even official, but it's across all of the major news outlets right now. And it is in response to the new stimulus package, as well as just people who have been struggling with the pandemic. But it says it could be the 15th to the 17th of May. All very new stuff. All very new stuff.
Right. Yeah. One thing that I wanted to talk about is obviously, the the major headlines of the Atlanta shootings: 8 dead in 3 different locations, I believe, 3 spas, massage, therapeutic locations. There it looks like initial indications are that this was possibly a hate crime against Asian Americans, particularly Asian women who worked at these massage parlors. Really horrific news. More of this string of incidents nationally. I know in the Bay Area as well, there have been a lot of attacks, as well as Seattle too. It seems to be happening more and more, or maybe it's just getting more headlines lately, but really tragic mass shooting, and just, so sad. Suspect said he was motivated by sex addiction, according to the sheriff. Yeah, right. Boy, pretty nuts. Pablo, are you interested in joining us, buddy? I'll send you an invite just so you don't feel snubbed. Love to have you up here as well. Helen Wallace, we will invite you up as well. Interested in joining us today? Doe, is the world ready for your new mask? Doe, I'm sending you an invite too. I'd love to hear about what's going on in your neck of the woods. If you're interested, no pressure, guys. Yeah, Pablo says he's busy right now, no worries. But are you doing this again? Would love to join another time. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. We'd love to have you up. Sounds like you have yoga class in a few minutes. That sounds really fun and relaxing. Yeah, perhaps invigorating. Thanks for being here in the comments with us, and we're certainly going to do this format again, so no worries about that. The invite is not working. Let me try again here, Candy. Let me uninvite and reinvite you. What device are you joining on? Have you joined a broadcast before, Candy? Love to hear what's going on in Japan. Hey, Walt, Maria, Jace the Who. Great to see you here. Thanks for the invite. Really need to record my radio show. Yeah, you already were procrastinating, I know, in the comments of that amazing interview that David Newman, our HAPS co-founder and former head of programming at CNN, just did with Peter Greenberg, the CBS travel editor. Highly recommend checking that one out. If you haven't seen it live, it was hysterical. Some really interesting career tips and early career stories from legendary travel journalist who's got a number of shows going on. He was actually in Istanbul several times, says Candy. What device are you trying to join on? Yeah, I just uninvited then re-invited you there. Doe says, I'm at work or else I jump in. No worries at all. Hey, Walt, interested in joining us and talking about some headlines in your area? We were just having a bit of a conversation here about current topics. Would love to hear your take on and hear from you, Walt, on what's going on in your corner of the world. Let's see. There we go. Send you an invite. Let's see who we can get up here. Oh, Candy, it looks like you may be here. Do we have you?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, let's bring you in on screen. Hi, Candy. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm feeling awesome. Thank you for inviting me, Peter.
Of course.
I'm so honored.
No, our pleasure. Would love to hear about, headlines in your area, and you have anything in particular that you've been paying attention to specifically or reading up on. Where are you joining us from today?
I am from Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
As everybody knows.
Yep.
Because I'm last.
Well, I just want to make sure everybody knows. Yeah, because
I know.
There's probably some new faces here, new names.
Yeah, so. It's hard to believe that me speaking this way, and I can speak in 8 languages. They're saying, what from the planet is this lady came from?
No, not at all. Not at all. No,
that's why
English is great.
I know, and that's why I always start Ohio. So they will say, "Oh, he's from
Yeah.
Japan." Yeah. Well, for me,
So you
the
speak
main
8 languages?
yes, I speak in eight. Yes.
Incredible. Okay.
That's
Well,
amazing.
well, for me, yeah, it's a gift already, so it's okay as long as I know what they're talking though.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you here. Thanks for being spontaneous and joining us. What's the latest in Tokyo? Obviously, the Olympics are the big thing that most people globally are
Yeah.
paying attention to. Can you give us an update, or do you
Yes,
have
I
anything else to
know
do?
that you're going to ask me that.
I mean, we can do something else. It's really
No, no, no,
volunteer.
no,
I don't need to drive here, so
no, no,
if
no,
you
no.
have another
It's
topic,
okay.
by all means.
It's okay. It's okay because the focus right now is in that event, especially for me. I will be there. That's why. And my job is concerning that main event. So there's a lot of things to do about there. Translating, interviewing athletes, I mean, I'm on the media side, on the press side. So it is a huge thing for me. And right now, we're having confusions, as I can say. Why? Because of the vaccine.
Of course.
It's it's here already, but the possibility is I don't know how can they handle all these people who are going to come in, which is odd.
Right.
Yeah, I mean this is odd.
What are your thoughts on that? I'm actually curious to, because I've been reading all about it, and I'm curious to
Yeah,
know what some people in Japan are thinking. Like, do you want to invite all of these people into Japan who could potentially spread the virus? Do you think it should be
exactly,
delayed? Yeah.
exactly. It's half and half. The feeling is half and half right now. I mean, a lot of people are saying cancel it. Why do it after the Beijing Olympics and then bring it back to Japan? Some people say that. On the other hand, IOC said it depends on the country. It depends on the government already, since the vaccine is here. So they are pushing us hard, or IOC is pushing the government so hard that they want answers before June. So we have months away, and we're trying to figure out. We're calculating everything, the athletes, the media, everything. And at this point, I can say, there's less vaccine. You should know about that. Sorry, but that's true. We have less, and we notice a lot of death rates, regardless of the vaccine, which is not good. Not a good of feedback. No, it's not.
Right. And
It,
what
it
are the
seems
current?
like,
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead,
go
Douglas.
for it.
Sorry. We're too polite. We're just gonna cede to. Okay. I'll go first.
Well, yeah, no, it's interesting to see that. I mean, the Olympics are in a tough spot. Japan and they're in a tough spot given the timing of the event. Because look, I consult a company that produces very large music events, and the fall, all of most large in the United States at least, it is more than likely that most of the large outdoor music events are probably going to happen in the
Mhm.
fall here. But the Olympics are right before that, and so I could see how it'd be really troubling for them. Obviously, doing it 8 years later would be tough
Yep.
for them, or 7 years
Mhm.
later. But then also to cancel them, and then to have all these other massive events globally and in the United States happen right after they get canceled would be
Mhm.
really tough for them, for the country as a whole to swallow, because it's national pride to host something as amazing as the
Mhm.
Olympics.
Yep. I mean, it is a chaos right now. So I cannot see myself in the position. I'm not yet vaccinated. There's no ultimatum about it. You can do whatever you want, but still, I'm still confused. Since I'm on the press side, I know for sure that I'll be safe because we have the separate vaccines from the others. But still, I will not vaccinate. No, not yet. Because why the feedbacks is not good at all. No.
Really interesting.
Yes.
How so? what's the vaccine perception in Japan in general, and what's the vaccination rate?
The vaccination rate is so low right now, and we just have it 2 weeks ago. Now they're trying. I mean, Pfizer, whatever medicine or vaccine that you can think of, it's here right now, and they're starting. They're starting to vaccinate elders and the kids. And when we research, and the
Hey.
doctor said, it's not good for allergies. It's not good for people who has high blood. It's not good for people who has this. So the chances are so low that you can say, "Oh, can we try another again or wait?" And that's it. I don't know. I mean, it's still confusing at this point.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Sounds like there's some vaccine hesitancy there, and uncertainty about the supply as well. Interesting. I would love to welcome up to the screen as well content strategist Ace Asma. Is that what you go by? Please enlighten us and properly introduce yourself. Thank you so much for joining.
Assalamualaikum,
Hi,
salam.
Peter. Walaikum assalam. Thank you, Jenny, and people from Periscope joining in as well. Hi, Candy. And my name is
Hello.
Asma, and I'm actually a Pakistani born and raised in Kuwait. And I go by Ace because that's my email address, ace.asma. So, whatever people find easy, whether they call me Ace. And I am trying to be more frequent on this application. For most of you, I think you heard me talk about Clubhouse and whatnot. For someone who's like a small, teeny, tiny broadcaster, or you could say like social listener there, in a month's time, I have been approached by three different newspapers. So I'm not sure what the reason is. Is it because they find it interesting that I have so many insights in the Middle East? Because I have both loads of knowledge, but I don't know where to put it. Do I upload it on my social media? Do I talk about it on Haps, or do I write about it on my website? But I'm liking the vibe of this application. The more I use it, the more I see we have a lot of potential to build a new community here, because I like building communities from ground zero. Like, it's my first time. I have no clue where I come from. I just came from Mars. So tell me about yourself and what do you do? What are you guys discussing tonight?
Yeah, thanks so much, Ace. A pleasure to meet you. So glad to have you here in the community. Really enjoyed your broadcast recently here on HAPS. We also have with us Michelle Alexander, Native Graffiti, who I'll invite onto screen with us in just a minute here. Michelle, I'll invite you. But we are just having kind of a casual discussion about local headlines and topics in the news. So would invite you to share anything that is currently all over the headlines there that the rest of the world may not know about, for example.
Oh, there's something quite interesting because Kuwait dissolved their parliament, and now, like, all the politicians are glued to Clubhouse. So they're having their parliamentary meetings there. So the government's like, what the heck? You guys move away from the government, and now you're unofficially, creating the chaos in the community. So that's another reason, I'm keeping eye on events to see where things go. But that's, like, for the most part that I know, something have not seen happen elsewhere in the world. You dissolve a parliament in real time, and then the politicians just join this application that's supposed to be, a social app. It's not for politics, but okay, whatever floats their boat as well.
Wow, I haven't read that one anywhere. That's wild that they've dissolved and are all on Clubhouse. Is there a headline somewhere that I can put on screen?
No, I don't know why.
Maybe.
I think I'm not sure why they're not talking about this. It's like maybe either I have to venture and put out all the news that I can see, or but they haven't talked about it. It's maybe it doesn't matter as much in the grand scheme of things, seeing how everyone is, like, busy with bigger issues. Maybe quit parliament. In the grand scheme of things in this universe, doesn't really matter to anyone. They're like, what's Kuwait? Where is it? And why does it matter?
What's the official reason for the dissolution of Parliament?
Disagreements with the government. They're not happy with the local politicians that they nominated for some reason. And then I saw a lot of people were they're also leaving the country protesting. They're gonna go outside and protest, and I'm like, what's happening? And we have a lockdown. at the same time. So people they're not voicing their opinion as much on Twitter or Instagram because their freedom is limited. But somehow they are voicing their opinions, and the clubhouse rooms are full. Like the maximum capacity of a room there is 8,000 listeners, and they're all jam packed right now. You have to wait in the parking lot to get in. So I don't know what's happening and why is this such a big deal, especially on a social media application. This was supposed to happen in the National Assembly, not on a social media app. So I don't know.
Wow, that's really interesting. Would love for you both to share some links to sources as well. It doesn't have to be in English. That
I'd
are
look into
also
it. I definitely would find something in Arabic, yes.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And with something like HAPS, it's cool that you guys can probably break news here too on this platform as well that hasn't made it into headlines yet, potentially with the 24/7 news cycle here that we can now all be a part of, right? For better or for worse.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I never.
I'd actually, yeah, I'd love to learn more about how it's structured there. For example, it didn't occur to me that I'd forgotten it's monarchy, and so and so there's a lot more to it than what I think a lot of Westerners think of when they think of like a parliament. So that'd be really
it's a
wonderful to learn more about
semi-kingdom
it.
with semi-democracy. So like the weirdest thing is it's all happening on Clubhouse because not everybody has an iPhone. So the rest of the world is disconnected from the news, from the issues. And you literally have to people are begging. They know me on social media. They know I'm active, so they keep coming to my inbox. They're like, "Can we have an invite to Clubhouse?" As if that's going to just let them into the room. The rooms are filled. Like, what do you guys want to know? Just wait for it. And now other social media influencers are releasing notes. They brought more politicians in because I think it was because one political figure joined the app and. He noticed he has so much attention, so now everybody's trying to do that. They're replicating it, and all the rooms are filled in Kuwait. So like, I kind of was like, okay, politics is not my thing. I'll just try to get the breaking news or the summary of it later once the session comes to an end, because they're gonna go on and on. Clubhouse has no time duration or limit.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow, what a strange phenomenon. Michelle Alexander, Native Graffiti, just want to allow you to introduce yourself and give you the floor to chat about what you have in mind today to share with us or comment on.
Well, Ami Buju, everybody. News from Indian country, Native American news. I cannot top this. This is probably a headline for the decades. Deb Haaland is now sworn in as the Department of the Interior Secretary, a first Native American on the cabinet. And the Department of the Interior is special for many reasons. I think it was the Navajo Nation president that was talking about how important and significant and symbolic that is, because under the Department of Interior is the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So this is also a first for a Native American in charge of a department that has to do with Native American policy at the federal level, federal recognition. I actually interned at the Bureau of Indian Affairs, so I know how huge that is just to even have Native people even working in that organization, much less to be in charge of it. But it's also the Department of Interior covers, the land, and so significant that it is a Native female who is a steward of the land. That's symbolic in a lot of ways. So I just cannot get excited enough about that. So woohoo! Big, huge one. And then speaking of, I did catch that interview yesterday. I think it was on MSNBC where I was really impressed with the Navajo Nation suffering a lot of loss in the Four Corners area. Because of COVID, they are now reporting 87% of their people have the vaccine, which is huge when you think about what's been going on with COVID. So those are two things I just wanted to mention. I kind of want to know what people think because it's just so important to have those two things together where it feels like the Biden administration, maybe it's, the progressives on that side are also excited about that issue with Deb Haaland being sworn in. But I just think it's just a huge win for, and a promise that Biden made to Indian country. So what do you guys think about that?
It's groundbreaking, certainly very exciting. Great to see these diversity of headlines from all over the world here. Yeah,
Was I muted?
whole breadth of interesting stories here. I just want to remind people you're welcome to come up and join us. We have a few more spots on screen right now. And we'd love to hear what you are paying attention to in the news and your takes. So feel free to join us. Megan, come talk about koalas. We'd love to hear the news from down under.
Was I muted, Peter, or did you? I mean, because I realized I look at it, it was like my microphone was pink when I said all that stuff. I don't know if I was muted or not.
No, you weren't muted. Nope.
Oh, thank God.
I think everyone heard about the
awesome.
exciting news about that new appointment. And yes, 80% is great news. Yeah. So Martin, feel free to come up as well. Yeah, make this opportunity and jump on with us and share. Gonna send a couple more invites right now.
I actually have a question for everyone here. That because we have several people from different parts of the country and the world right now. What is the general, prior to COVID and the COVID vaccine, what has been the general consensus around just vaccines? And whether people like to take them or not. Like Peter was alluding to this earlier. For example, in certain parts of Europe, they're having a surge, and some of that has to do with the fact that certain countries in Europe are historically just sort of like have misgivings about vaccines. Japan, I was curious about. Kuwait. It's really interesting to hear that Native Americans seem to have no misgivings about it if they're
they do have misgivings.
If 87%.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
they
do have misgivings.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is what I want to know. I don't actually know.
Okay, well, I was trying to like formulate my thoughts, but there was a reason why the Navajo Nation was so successful, and that's because they had to really push a lot of education and camping. But they're like the second largest Native tribe in the United States. My tribe, the Ojibwe Nation, is the third largest. And what happened is they have control of their own media. They have their own newspaper, and they've done a huge push about taking care of the elders. So that's maybe culturally how they were leaning on it, because as you all know, especially in minority situations where there's a lot of distrust of the government. There's a lot of distrust of these, people remember, there's generations that remember, that there were some pretty shady stuff that went on, from forced sterilization to other issues with being experimented on without their knowledge. And so people still remember those stories. And so what the Navajo Nation did, because of the situation that they were having with the large numbers of people who were, susceptible and dying to this disease, they had a huge campaign to basically say, like, they got the elders involved, and that was really important. For example, my dad, who is an elder, and he got COVID this past year. What he's done himself was, he said, I remember, like, his own father died of a preventable disease, tuberculosis. And he said, I'm scared of this stuff. I hate doctors. I don't trust them. He goes, but you know what? I want to see my family. And that's where they've been, really highlighting the elders and getting them involved in this, because nothing tugs on the heartstrings of, a lot of cultures that, believe in family and love their elders, that they want to take care of the elders. But if the elders are involved in that conversation, it was very effective. So I can see that happening in my own tribe now. Our own tribal newspaper is talking about, like, you want to see your family again? You want to get together? And we have these huge events that people come. There are like homecomings. You guys call them powwows. We call them powwows too, but we really think of them as homecoming gatherings. And that's going to happen this summer. Ours is around the 4th of July, coinciding with Canada Day, coinciding with 4th of July. So nothing brings in, income and family and all of that together. So everybody's kind of focused, at least what I've been seeing in Native media, specifically my tribe, and just hearing about the Navajo Nation. So I think that's something that was really important.
That's amazing. Yeah, to hear your perspective, and very, exciting to have that insight from you too. I think Megan is here to talk about koalas. Is that true, Megan? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Rev, hey, how's it going, Rev? Good to see you both. Oh, and I think I
Can you guys hear me?
1 second.
I'm doing well.
I think we can hear you both now. I encourage folks on screen to mute themselves so when they're not speaking, if possible, just to reduce any background noise. But Megan, we'll start with you. Thank you so much for coming up on the spot. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Hi there. It's a bit early, so I'm still in my pajamas. But thanks for the invitation. Look, the big thing that's happening in Australia is recently someone came out and reported being sexually assaulted by, sorry, it's a bit early for this, but it's what's happening. One of our leading politicians is now up for allegations of rape, and several women have come forward, and it's brought on this real amazing Me Too kind of movement, and there's been lots and lots of rallies on Monday around Australia about this, and it's really, really raising awareness. There's been a massive $100,000 campaign against sexual violence and domestic violence just over the last 2 weeks. So that is it's sad that it happened, but it's just fantastic that there's a spotlight on it. I guess I'm a little biased because I work as a trauma counsellor, so I see this day in, day out. So to see this getting some airspace is just, it's making me really, really happy that this, could be a turning point for Australia and in terms of domestic violence. So I think that that's our top headline right there.
Yeah, well surmised. Thank you so much for sharing that. Seems like a watershed moment there and movement happening. Just want to welcome on screen really quickly as well, Aaron Schaefer. Am I saying your name right, sir? Welcome. Thank you for joining.
You got it perfect. It's spelled kind of funny, but it's pronounced Schaefer.
Right on.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining from Israel. Yeah, wonderful to have you here. And yes, thank you all for coming up. If you need to take off, I think Candy may need to. Feel free to, no worries. We're just kind of playing musical chairs here. So yeah, if you came on earlier, feel free to jump off and free up a spot for someone new to come too and share some headlines. But Rev, I think you're up next. What are you paying attention to today?
Wow. Probably it's a little bit personal because I am now qualified to get the vaccine because of comorbidities. And I'm really finding out that in Chicago and talking to a lot of people that though we qualify, like the city of Chicago, they're not offering, the shots. So certain groups that qualify are just not getting the shots made available to them. So that's I think that's a very frustrating thing for a lot of people. So that's something that I'm definitely paying a lot of attention to. And I think the other thing that I've been paying attention to as it relates to coronavirus and talking to people and looking for somebody actually to come speak to us on the show is the COVID fatigue. Like, just remember in March a year ago, Chicago was a ghost town, and things like I don't even hear numbers hardly anymore as much on the news, right? It's like things are worse now than they were. And like, where's the coverage? It's very strange. It's just surreal at this point to me.
Right. Boy, COVID fatigue, yeah, even for journalists and coverage, really, really great point.
Peter,
Aaron.
but I have to cut you off. I need to jump out because I have an interview by Clubhouse because of this pandemic, the stress and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be there,
No
being
problem.
a host from Japan. So see you
Great.
guys, and thanks for inviting me.
Of
Good to
course.
see you.
Thanks for joining us. Bring some folks back from Clubhouse too if they want to have some visuals someday.
I will.
Right on. Cheers.
Hey, that's heft. It's like how Clubhouse really should be.
Yeah, Clubhouse for live video to a degree and a lot more, but
A lot
yeah,
more.
no doubt. Aaron, tell us about what you're paying attention to in the headlines today and in your corner of the world.
Yeah, so here in Israel, people are very proud that the country is at the head of the vaccination rates in the world. The vaccine companies, Pfizer especially, made an arrangement with the government here to sort of use Israel as the guinea pig for the vaccine, because we have a relatively small country with a very well-developed and well-documented health system. So they're able to provide real-time data back to the vaccine companies and allow them to make any adjustments that are necessary and how they implement it. So as a result of that, almost everyone has been vaccinated here, and the numbers are dropping really rapidly, and things are opening up every day. And it's just great to see people out on the streets, and the shopping malls opening, the tourism sites are opening. The skies are still closed quite a bit because they're afraid of letting new mutations into the country until they get really, full control over the situation. But it's quite exciting. In fact, people aren't even talking about the elections that are coming up next week. And it's hard for us Israelis not to talk about elections.
We'll talk about them. I don't even know they're going on.
I'd actually like to ask you something about what you're saying, though, in terms of the vaccine. I just read, and I think it's actually a few days old, but one of the things that we've learned from the fact that Israel has moved so quickly with vaccines population is we've learned about whether or not the Pfizer vaccine prevents asymptomatic transmission of the virus, which is something we did not know until literally this week. And Israel has given us that information. Well, Israel
all that I know is what I see, which is like, it's amazing to see things opening up after this whole year. It's just like, I mean, in Israel, I don't know how it is. I see the news from the United States here, but I haven't visited the United States in 15 years. I was only there once for a few days. So I just see the news, and it seems to me like in some states, people are keeping the kind of, like standard guidelines of wearing masks and social distancing, and other places less so. Here, it's been quite strict. Like for a year, everybody is wearing masks. Large gatherings of people are not permitted. Even like weddings and things, they limit to 10 people or 15 people or 20 people, depending on where and what's going on. And it's just really nice to see things opening up. I don't know a lot about vaccines or how they work or the science behind them, but I'm very thankful for all the people who are doing it, because it's a lifesaver for us.
Cool. Well, I'll finish my sentence. What I was going to say was that thanks. No, it's fine. I really appreciate all your insight into your home country, but your home country has given us the information about the Pfizer vaccine, and in fact, it does, according to the tests there in Israel, it does in fact, if you have it, prevent you from passing along asymptomatically the COVID virus to someone else who is not vaccinated. So kudos to Israel moving quickly on this one.
We're happy to be the guinea pigs for the world.
Well, it's an encouraging sign, certainly. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. Douglas, I know you may need to take off in a few minutes. Do you have any other headlines that you wanted to discuss or chat about in the last few minutes?
Other than just, I'm excited to see March Madness happen this year. On a lighter note with basketball, it's an American tradition, and it's something that I think a lot about in terms of when I think of student athletes and how they give us so much and they get so little in return. And for them to not have a March Madness last year, but to have one this year is very exciting. And so I'm excited to experience it and watch it along with my my fellow college basketball fans and friends.
Hey, Douglas. Before you jump out of here, Peter knows what I'm going to do. And everybody on here, I'm following you. Come join me on my show some evening, and we could deepen these conversations and stuff. Would love to chat and hang out. I'm on 10 p.m. Eastern here. So would really enjoy getting to know you and getting you out there with the folks that, watch me. So
that would be great. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. That'd be great. And same to everybody up here. For sure.
Awesome.
It's here. I'm gonna hop off as well to attend another meeting here, and hopefully it won't be about Clubhouse because it feels like I'm an evangelist for no reason. But I love sharing what's happening. Thank you so much for bringing me on, Peter, Aaron, and the Revolution, and whoever else is online. Megan, yes, I still look forward to the news on Qualas because I'm curious what happened to them. I want to have more updates. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening from my end. It's nearly 11 p.m. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to connect with you. Yeah. Have a good night.
Same. I'm enjoying this application. Thank you.
Great. Great to hear.
Hey, Peter, there's a couple of comments. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I'm going to follow suit. Everyone take care.
You too, man.
No worries. Hey, thanks, Douglas, for helping us kick it off. Awesome.
There's a couple of comments relevant to what I was saying earlier. So my technical director and good friend, Eleanor Marie, talks about, wait a minute, I missed it. That's her other one. Oh, hang on, Eleanor. So she's basically saying she qualifies for the vaccine, same as I do. There is no solution, for her where she's at. And, she's got much bigger issues, than I do right now. So, I think everybody's, really just, there's a lot of people right now that are still really scared and, banding everybody together, keeping all this information flowing. If somebody knows in your community where there's vaccines are available or whatever, and, people from this community that are from your community, get the news out there. That's what's so fantastic about this platform is we can get news out lightning fast, like you're even doing here. So take advantage of that.
Right. Yeah. Very good point. See Molly saying, got my second Moderna vaccine today. A lot of people at the health center cried. It does feel like a big relief, even though I have to still mask up and socially distance. Right. Molly, we'd love to welcome you on screen here. If you'd like to join us, same with Noreen. Welcome to jump in here and share your story. Martin as well, we've sent you an invite. So, and others watching, if you're interested in sharing your perspective on headlines, we'll be on for another 15 minutes or so. And don't be shy. Feel free to come introduce yourself.
Where are you today, Peter?
I'm in my new place in Colorado here. I got a bunch of empty shelves and empty rooms here. I have a desk and a chair, and that is about it. But yeah, I'm relocating from the Northwest just for, the summer here briefly to explore the outdoors a bit and be a little bit closer to some family and friends.
Are you in, was it Grand Junction that I saw yesterday or something?
Yeah, I'm near Grand Junction. That's like the closest. I'm in a really tiny town nearby, but it's beautiful. There's lots of, it's almost like there's mountains for sure in this area. There's the San Juans and all sorts of canyons and kind of amazing Southwest style geography.
It's very Southwest there. And you have a big dune out there. And you're in Grand Junction. So you're like in the UFO capital. Like go out at night. They're like, apparently they buzz by there every night,
Really? Well,
Grand Junction's known for hugely for, but I think there's a lot of Air Force bases around there too. So that could be
interesting.
Some of it is.
You can see my empty shelves here better now. Noreen, I see you with us here from Ohio. Noreen, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on.
I'm from Mount Vernon, Ohio, not a very small town, a town of about 15,000. I don't want to be on camera because I'm an an elderly disabled lady, and
Oh, no worries. We
Okay.
welcome you regardless. But
I used to be a teacher, and I was in a very germified environment until a few years ago. And I just want to say, I hear all kinds of reports, and you think, being in a small town, you think that people won't think this way. But I even had someone say, "You got the vaccine?" Well, you get sick from that, and they put trackers in it so they can track you. And I'm thinking, do people still believe this way? Really?
They do.
I'm just appalled that, I've gotten the pneumonia vaccine because of my health issues. I've gotten the pneumonia and the flu vaccine for the last probably 3 years, and I haven't gotten sick once from. I got pneumonia 2 times in a year. I mean, vaccines have saved my life, and I just want people to know that, because I think they don't understand everybody's perspectives, because they're 20, 30s and healthy, and they get over it very quickly, but not everyone does.
What's it like in a town of 15,000 in middle America right now? Like, how are people doing? Are they masking up? Are they kind of compliant? Are you guys joining in, banding together, helping each other? What's it look like in middle America? Because I'm in Chicago, and it's a lot different world up here, I think, probably in a lot of ways.
Right. Oh, I agree with you totally. First of all, I'm and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just explaining, okay? Because I'm a more democratic mindset. I'm in a very small, largely Republican, Trump supporting town. And that said, I do believe that because we're smaller and we're a very religious town, a lot of people believe, well, God's gonna take care of you. And I say that God invented doctors, or gave doctors the obvious. He made man. And so I do believe that a lot of people are more, because it's not as widespread in our small town, they're more relaxed. When it first came out and people didn't know about it, there were like, I went to the post office. I had to mail some stuff. It was important business stuff. And there were like 8 people in the post office, and only 3 of us were wearing masks. It's really scary for someone who's sick. Now it's a little bit more heavily mask use, but that's.
Oh, we may have
Oh, she
lost
is.
her. Oh, she's back. Are you here, Noreen?
I'll go in stores. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. I'll go in stores and somebody, and I have asthma. It's hard to breathe. I'm sure it's down. And if you're a smoker or things like that, your lungs are probably affected. But this guy had his mask down. The store said, "Put your mask up," and he got all irritated. I was like, she's just trying to, do what's required of her. We need to start in our town getting together more, and as a community. And I think it's maybe a little more cognizant of family. I do think that everybody, we all.
We're losing you, Noreen.
Some family guys now, they're more treasured. Anyway, that's my out and about.
No, thank you so much for sharing. You're breaking up just a little bit with that connection there, it looks like, but just want to thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your perspective, about the importance of the vaccine and getting back to normal life.
As the most religious looking person in this room, I'd like to back up when Noreen said, God made doctors. I love that.
I like that. Yeah, right. Why did he make doctors if we're not supposed to use them, right? I don't know. That's awesome, Aaron. we've got somebody from Medellin in here. Like, this is actually
So
how
cool.
cool Haps
Come
is. Like,
join us. Come join us.
yeah,
Tell us about
Elizabeth's
the
been
news.
in my room before. Come up and join us. Tell us what's going on in
Hey,
Medellin.
Peter, I want to thank you for inviting me, and I got to get back to what I'm doing, but it was great.
course.
And this is my first time coming in a mixed chat on Haps, and this
Great.
feature is unbelievable. I love it.
Shalom.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you,
for
guys.
joining. Yeah, great to have you here. Good luck with
All right.
everything.
God bless you guys. Be well.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
How did it just end up being you and I up here?
It may for the last few, unless we have Donald, Eleanor, Elizabeth. Are you interested in joining us? Gary Price, are you interested in coming up and chatting headlines with us from your neck of the woods? Please feel free. I'm going to send
Dr.
out.
Hooper's here too, if she's free. It's
Yeah, she said she was
it's
busy
evening.
earlier.
Is she busy? Okay.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I did send an invite to Dr. Hooper as well.
Let me see if I can grab somebody too.
Sure. Hold on. Let me make you one sec. Make sure you have permission. There we go. Yeah, no worries at all, Deanna.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know.
Gemma,
Deanna.
come on up. We sent you an invite. Would love to chat with you and have you join us. All right. Grizz, you want to come up talk NFL free agency? Would love to have you join us. Feel free to come up. See if we can get you in. There we go. Be cool to talk some sports. There should be a vaccine award on Haps to give to people who get their shots. Deanna, I love that idea. I'm going to put that in our Slack channel now for awards ideas. Thank you for that suggestion. Really, really neat. Yeah.
All right, I put a couple people in here. See if they're free. I hit them up on WhatsApp. Oh, there's Gemma. Awesome. Yay.
Really loud.
You okay over there?
Yeah. It
Here
made
we
me
go.
jump. It was really loud. Sorry.
No, we got you on screen. Hey, Gemma, thanks so much for coming in, and really great to finally be on screen with you. Much appreciated. What's new in your neck of the woods? What's happening?
I guess the main things is like the whole Meghan and Harry thing. And then the interview they did. It's causing a problem with the royal family. Are they racist? Aren't they racist thing? They've not said who it was. And then the girl that was murdered in London by a serving police officer.
Wow, those are both incredibly big stories. Let's pause and dive into one of those. Yeah, I've caught those in passing on my feed on Apple News and on BBC app. But yeah, let's talk about the second one. I think that's more recent and a little bit less in the headlines in the US at least.
Yeah. So there was she was just in her 30s and she was walking home in I think it's South London, and was kidnapped and murdered by a serving police officer. And apparently that police officer was quite high up within the force, and he was allowed to carry a gun. He has been and had his first hearing, just to confirm his name and stuff, I think via video link. I think it was yesterday. But there's been a lot of protests within London. It started off as being a vigil for her, and then it got really out of hand, and then there was a big brawl with the police and people, which didn't help the police at all. And now there's been a big war memorial defaced, saying it said ACAB on it. All caps are My concern is I have a family member that is a police officer who is not too far from London. But thankfully he's not working at the moment, so that's all good. But yeah, it's really not helped the relationship with the police and the general public, and it's just constant protests and vandalism, and yeah, it's not great. It's not great at the moment.
Why were they allowed to have a gun?
There's certain police officers that are allowed to carry them. He was doing something to protect the it was like protecting embassies and things like that, apparently.
So different,
Yeah, there you go.
that even the police, not all the police carry guns, and not all police carry guns all the
Oh,
time. I mean, a controversy, as you would say over there, a controversy here, with a cop and a gun. I mean, doesn't even make the news if it's just one person being shot. You know what I mean? Like,
Hardly.
not unless it's
True.
unless there's something, it's a person of color or something, and it catches some media. But I mean, that whole country's rocked by this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Right. Deanna
Yeah.
says in the comments, the difference between how police handled football fans celebrating and women holding a vigil is very stark.
It is. Wow.
That's spot on from what I've read, at least here. Again, I'm just screen sharing this headline from Reuters. Londoners continue to protest against police after murder of Sarah Everard. So that was the name of the victim. Obviously, we're getting some video on screen that's not related to that, but just want to remind people we do have this cool screen sharing feature, and I'll bring myself back up. But for visual stories in particular, it's really simple to just bring up those sort of aids and things. So yeah, good to see you, Asha and Grant as well, by the way. Feel free to join if you're interested in chatting with us. Karandar, I just invited you as well. I would love to have you come up for a bit. I think we'll extend this by a few minutes. This is really, yeah, I'm having a good time learning a lot here. Gemma, tell us a little bit about, the public sentiment. To go back to the first story you mentioned about, the big Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan. The fallout is still unfolding, no doubt there. It's kind of left the headlines in the US here, obviously dominated them for nearly a week. But what's kind of the aftermath that we may not be aware of?
So there's still, because they never named who it was that asked about the baby's skin color, there's all that now. It caused Piers Morgan to have a huge tantrum on TV and walk off, and now he's quit.
Right, heard about that. Oh man.
Then there was Sharon Osbourne, who apparently backed him up on TV, and there's something going on with her being investigated now or something. And Piers is still using Twitter. He's going to be the next person to get booted off. I can see it.
Interesting.
He likes
Hey,
to run his mouth, clearly.
I just
but
got
yeah,
an
it's
appointment.
Still very much all over.
Sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, no
It's
worries.
still
Do you
very
need to
much
take
all
off,
over,
bro?
yeah.
No, I just got an appointment for a vaccine on March 20th.
Wow, congrats. Very exciting. Yeah, that's great news. I also think we have with us Karandar. Am I saying your name right? Karandar. Welcome to the broadcast. Can you hear us? Maybe having some audiovisual issues. Looks like that connection is struggling. Poor guy. We'll give it a minute here, but looks like, yes. Bummer, yeah, dropped off due to connection issues. Feel free to join us, those who are tuning in. Retta, Chakrahan, yes, please join us here. Share your opinion, your perspective. Tell us what you are paying attention to in the headlines. We'd love to have you come up for a few minutes here. Suyog as well. Not sure I'm pronouncing your name right, but welcome. Hello from Mumbai. Suyog says, really, really great to see you here. We've had people tuning in and joining from all over the world already just in the past hour here. And I think we'll keep this going for another few minutes here. Carinder, can you hear me? Are you there? Oh, man. Suk says it's 1:43 a.m. No worries at all. No pressure to join. We're equally appreciative of those in the comments here contributing and tuning in. So no worries at all. Lorenzo from Corpus Christi. Lorenzo, we'd love to invite you as well. If you want to join us, let me extend that. Oh, Carinder, we may be able to hear you. Are you there? And lost again. Dang it. We'll see here. Give it a minute.
A quick technical question, Peter. Do you know how the broadcast permissions, how does it order people? Is it, I can't tell.
I don't. It seems to be moving around a bit here.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm actually uninviting folks who've come on previously, so that may be part of what you're seeing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, some reshuffling going on. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's entirely alphabetical. Looks like it's trying to stick to alphabetical, but as I uninvite people, it kind of reorganizes accordingly. So that's what I'm seeing here in the invite list. And let's see here. Yeah, a number of folks said they couldn't join, just making this a little neater and allowing some room for others to come on in.
Gemma, how are the drawings coming? What have you done lately?
I've done a few more, and I've got one more to do for the Perhaps challenge that I want to do. I'm going to try and get it done tonight, just so that if I fail, then I've got a few more days to roll it on, just in case. I'm working on one for somebody at the moment. I can't share it because I haven't got a permission, but somebody who's just lost their father and their brother. They never actually had a photo of them together, so I'm trying to draw them together for them. But then I'm working on a few others, which I'm going to share live later. Hopefully today.
That's cool. Hey, I'm going to putting this, if you're in Chicago, you're on Facebook, the executive producer there, she got me the appointment by using this group on Facebook called Chicago Vaccine Hunters. And these people is amazing. These people have the hookup. They know exactly who's got what available. And it's all through just crowdsourcing of, people in Chicago, letting each other know, hey, X hospital has this many availabilities, call now. So maybe look for vaccine hunter groups in your community, or even start them, in your community, because this is just amazing. We have been looking for me for an appointment for weeks, and I don't know how she stumbled upon this group, but yeah, if you're in Chicago, Chicago Vaccine Hunters is definitely the way to go. Peter's taking a quick little break there. And so my name is Revolution McKinnis. This is 5-Minute Headlines. Come up and join us. If you want to come up, give us a headline about what's happening around the world where you are. I think this is actually a really wonderful format because I'm getting a taste of things. We've heard from Israel. We have heard, we've heard from Israel, Chicago, Grand Junction. We've got Gemma in the UK, and please come up, talk to us. I hopefully got another person here coming up pretty quickly from the UK. So if there's anything that you are, really itching to tell us, or if you got a question, come up. That's what it's all about. Hey, there he is. He's welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, I just had to step out and grab a little water. Still
Michelle.
Invites here.
So there's this thing where, have you heard of the bio break thing, Peter? About
It's
me?
very common in Tech Talk. This was just a water break, a hydration break, I promise.
Well, I'm notorious for bringing up a guest host and then taking a bio break. It only happened like once, you know, and yeah, I did load the dishwasher, and yeah, I did get my son dinner, but so Michelle's saying, oh, Peter just pulled a bio break on you. So,
Hey, Elizabeth, welcome.
How are you? My English is not the best, but hello, everybody.
Hey there. It's great to have you with us. Your audio is a little bit loud. I'm not sure if you can adjust that. It seemed I actually had a little trouble understanding. Can you repeat and see? Maybe the phone's a little close or something?
Hello, I am from Colombia. My English is not the best, but I am here. It's a pleasure for me to stay here. And thanks for the invitation. Sorry for my English.
That's fine. Can you turn your camera sideways, landscape? Can you turn it?
One moment.
Yeah.
Here?
That works.
Yeah, let's see if we can get it to work. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Fit you in the frame fully. Wonderful.
Yep.
Great.
That's great. So what's happening in
Oh wow, there's a
look at that.
I remember seeing
Oh
a
my gosh.
broadcast of this. I believe this is one of the broadcasts of the week as well, Elizabeth, fairly recently here. Wow. Tell us what's new in Colombia. What's happening?
Colombia is a country so complicated because the people think about this bad country, no, for narco and other, but the people here is great, and now it's very quiet. I live in Medellin, the city for more violence in the past. Sorry, my English is very bad. I only speak in present. I don't remember.
Fine.
I don't remember speaking past or future. Okay, and now in Colombia is great. Medellin is the second city in Latin America for tourists, but now with pandemic, it's very complicated because the economy is not good and the politics not have a good political for ¿cómo se dice vacuna? Salud, Dani? I don't remember for every word. Sorry.
No, for politics. Yep, I think get your point across. Your English is better than you're giving yourself credit for. And you're brave to come up and cheers.
Especially
my son have, what's going on? My son is better for English.
Hi, what do you want to say?
Que ¿cómo se dice? Que las políticas de la vacunación son muy malas.
The ¿cómo se dice? Vacuna. Es que lo sé, pero no, I don't know the pronunciation. Okay, vaccine. The vaccine politics and like administration is really bad and it's very inefficient. We are going to get like in 4 years or something.
Okay, the English is better for me, no?
We got it. Yeah, sounds like there's some challenges. And some issues with rolling out vaccines. So, what percentage of Colombians are vaccinated? Is there a widely available vaccine there?
Now, I think about USA is better for vaccine, no? Here have a bad ¿cómo se dice? Comprar bullying, no have a good contract. You understand? Yes.
Not exactly about contracts, is that it? Comprar
I don't know. ¿Cómo se dice que ha sido muy lenta la compra de vacunas? Sorry.
Like the whole process of doing vaccines has I've been so slow.
Okay. Finish. No more. I need translation.
There you go. Yeah, so the process is going slowly and dragging on. Yeah, that's got to be tough. Man, we definitely, yeah, vaccine buying is slow. Thank you.
Oh,
Dean.
there you go.
We have a translator as well in the comments. Much appreciated. Donald says, okay. Right here, thanks for the mic drop award, Terry. Very, very cool. Any others who want to, yeah, slow process to vaccine. Any
Okay.
others who want to come up?
Because we've got the vaccine.
I say bye. It's a pleasure to stay here, but I say bye because I work now.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, great to see you here. We appreciate you sharing your perspective.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
That's interesting, Michelle.
Yeah,
Translations.
totally. Grant would like to come up. Let's see here. Grant, I think I've sent the invite. Let me double check. Would love to have you join us. I need to take off in just a few minutes, in about 5 minutes, for a meeting, but would love to have, there we go. Would love to have Grant come up and join us for the last few. Just send you that invite. Got the morning coffee there, huh?
Love it. It's 3:25 and somebody's having morning coffee. And
yeah,
this is
I don't
awesome.
even know how many time zones this single broadcast has spanned, but it's been, yeah, pretty amazing to see the diversity of perspectives, and
This is great.
it's fun. Yeah, it is really fun. And Grant, we do hope you'll join us there. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We have you. Hey, can you hear us?
Good morning, Rev. Good morning, Gemma.
Hey, good morning, Grant.
I can hear you fine. I'm on the iPhone XR and everything's great.
Good. Really happy
Thank
to
you
hear
for-
that.
Thank
Pop
you
your
for inviting
camera
me.
landscape, Grant. Flip it the other way real quick. Your camera.
We can get
Sideways.
a little bit.
There you
There
go.
we go. Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we can see your whole head and everything. now.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so you're asking for a quick news perspective from different parts of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Michelle,
Exactly.
I'm getting much better, thank you. I'm just off topic. I'm just quickly getting over a UTI. So,
Bummer. Sorry to hear that.
oh, little freeze there. Yeah, I'm getting over a UTI where I was in hospital for the weekend.
Man, sorry to hear that.
But
That
I'm a
sounds
lot
like
better.
no fun, but glad that you're recovering.
No, Michelle. Michelle, I'm not going to give you a drone report because there's nothing to report yet. No. The main topic here today in Australia, and basically the whole country is talking about this. Of course, our national game restarts today. It's Australian Football League opening day today, and we're going to be having people at the football for the first time now in as many years. Oh, since COVID.
Right.
So we've got the main ground here at called the MCG, which is where the 1956 Olympics were held. And normally on opening night, that ground is full. But because of COVID, they've reduced the capacity. But there's going to be 50,000 people at the ground tonight. And it's opening night of the Australian Football League, and this is the one thing everyone's talking about footy tipping or super coach or doing all the fantasy football. It's such a good time to be back.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely
you're gonna have
got
a
to be.
stadium. You're gonna have a stadium full of people.
Well, the stadium holds 96,000 at full.
Jeez.
Wow.
And
That's huge.
Yeah.
And they're,
Nice.
they've got 50,000 people are going to be there tonight, half full.
Wow. And you guys are doing pretty well with the COVID, obviously, if you can have 50,000 people in a stadium.
Here in Victoria, where I am, near Melbourne, we've had, I think it's 22 days without a COVID. G'day, Sawyer. G'day, mate. Yeah, we've had a COVID case.
Wow.
And our last cluster
Remarkable.
was just at Christmas time. So and the last person from that cluster has just been released from hospital, just been declared all safe. So now Australia is doing fantastic.
That's really good to hear.
We're happy for you.
Yeah. It's definitely.
I guess people feel jealous of the way Australia and New Zealand have handled the COVID. I know you mentioned it. You say that you don't have any COVID, and everyone says, well. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Actually, and I'll tell you, can I just give myself a little quick plug?
For sure, by all means.
Yeah, on Sunday, I'm going to be broadcasting drag boat racing. It's the national championships on Sunday, and I did a drone broadcast a few weeks ago of a water sports park, and I actually flew up and down a river, and that's the National Water Sports Centre where the actual rowing took place for the Olympics that I mentioned back in '56. And yeah, and they're going to be holding the national national drag boat championships there on Sunday, and they're expecting about 5,000 people. So I'm going to make it down there, and I'll
Nice.
certainly be broadcasting the races.
Excellent.
And just I might even just keep this quiet. I might even get the drone up at the end of a river and just do a couple of races from the drone. But we'll see what happens.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, as I said, it's very sport related in Australia at the moment. Like Queensland and New South Wales are predominantly rugby teams. Do you know we've got 4 different sporting codes here in Australia?
No, I didn't realize that.
We've got the Australian rules football, which is our national sport. We've got English football, which we call soccer. We've got rugby league, which is our National Rugby League for Australians rugby, and we've got the rugby union.
So that's a full lineup there. That'll keep you busy with entertainment too, as well.
Oh,
that's really cool.
Yeah, predominantly Queensland and Queensland and New South Wales are predominantly rugby states, and then you got Victoria, South Australia, and Western Australia, but then are the AFL states, but then they call it Australian Football League because there's at least 2 teams in every capital city now, with the exception of Hobart down in Tasmania, but there will be a team down there soon, and there's no team up in Darwin. But there's 2 teams in Brisbane, there's 2 teams in Sydney, there's 8 teams in Melbourne, there's 2 teams in Adelaide, 2 teams in Perth in Western Australia. So it's a real national competition.
You only have like 2 million people there, so basically everybody's on a team, huh?
Exactly. So there'll be lots of banter today, and of course the actual premier team from last year, which beat my side actually, they open the season and they're playing tonight. Oh, sorry, my finger's in the way. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Better
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Look, much appreciated. Thanks for letting me on.
Of course. Thanks so much.
I will drop down and let someone else have a chat if they want to.
Thanks. Yeah, we appreciate it. Good to get some positive news and sporting news as well, of topics, to end on a high note. They're very exciting, definitely inspiring, from the U.S. perspective, at least on my end, to see that that's possible. And we'll probably end on that. We went over about 20 minutes what I'd originally planned, because this was just really fun. A mini marathon of sorts, having lots of folks come on and join from the comments, and really appreciate both of you, Rev and Grant, for joining, and everyone else who came in and shared some news from their corner of the globe.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. This was great. Really, a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thanks
Have
to
a
everyone who
wonderful,
watched.
safe day, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise. All right, appreciate everyone joining. I'm going to set the countdown, and hope to see you back soon. We'll have more broadcasts with Pablo in just a couple hours. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye-bye.